Hello, orienteering guys. Welcome to the recording of the training. It was a very surprising training. I've never ran in this forest. An orienteering training or race. So I was surprised there is a map even. I've been running in this forest previously, but just around these bigger parts, not with the map. So to this first control I tried to run as straight as possible. Here I think still the map was alright. I'm trying to run along the bearing as much as I can. Obviously I'm trying to also find some runnable path, I was aiming for those let's say semi-runnable forests, and I wanted to go around them and then again take a bearing and straight to the control. So let's speed it up a little bit. So around here I was finally at the non-runnable forest, so I had like a good orienteering feature that I could again start my orienteering, my let's say pick up a bearing again here. I was looking for that path, but yeah, as you can see it's kind of overgrown. But I thought, okay, this is probably those non-runnable forests anyway, so my control is somewhere in front of me now. And yeah, I also saw there is another vegetation boundary, basically some semi-runnable forest, so I was going there. As you saw, no other big issue picking up that control. Now the second control, I was aiming for this path, let's say, might be even a vehicle path, I guess. Yeah, looks like it. And here I was trying to, you know, pick the proper point where to go down to this small cliff. It wasn't that obvious because it's winter, so, and the vegetation is a little bit grown up, so yeah, it wasn't, I wasn't 100% sure. But then here was another like a more thicker forest, so I thought it must be somewhere near here. And actually when I went down here it was somewhat very close here. I remember that it didn't take me that long. It's just beneath me. So here now I look to the left. Once I look to the left I will see it. Yeah, here it is. So these cliffs are very, very small, and that's the difficulty here, you know. Some of these cliffs are just a rock coming out of ground, and it's not something very visible. The third control was easy. It was right below me, like a small depression here. So here I'm just trying to understand the map a little bit and trying to pick up the proper path to the control. And as you can see, there was even another runner, so it was easy for me to find the control because he actually functions as some sort of a lead. So again, to control number 4, I picked a bearing, sort of it. The control was very close. I was looking for some, you know, I'm not going straight because I want to go around the contours, let's say, but this way I found the flag easily. I saw it. Now to control 5, basically ran straight to the non-runnable forest, and then I was aiming for that like a path that is passing through, and then the path basically ends behind that non-runnable forest. I don't remember what was the control. It was I think it was the little greenish spot, so some sort of trees or something. Here, as you can see, there was this greenish area that I decided to pass around from the top, but I think this was not good choice because I ended up a little bit above the control and didn't see it, and it took me a while to read the map and you know, to properly find the control. So yeah, a little bit of finding, but then not everyone is perfect. Yeah, it could have been better here. Control number 6 was like, first of all, I was too lazy to go through that non-runnable forest. Or wasn't I'm wondering which way I will go, because there is this hatched area as well. But okay, it seems that I will go through. Alright, so here I'm going through. I guess it makes sense. It doesn't make... It would be too difficult to climb up around that non-runnable forest, and I guess it makes more sense to climb up here. But it was physically difficult, and I wasn't quite sure which way to go. And then I got like, you know, I started following this other runner, and I wasn't trusting my guts. I should have followed the terrain here to the left side and around the hill here. Instead I followed him, and then it was like we got not lost, but the trouble was here that the slope was too steep and there were young trees, and you are, you know, struggling. So it would have been easier to go around the bottom of this, like a nose or whatever. And it turned out that the tree trunk was actually really at the bottom of this hill. Let's keep there. It will take me a time to get there. So you see, I lost like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes just going through this mess, going uphill, downhill. It would have been much easier to go from below, you know, around this a little bit of a nose. This was a mistake, but now let's continue to control number 7, which is a stone inside, like or behind some earth wall. So here basically I just took a bearing, and I knew that there is this maybe small path that I have to pass, and then below it should be some terrain depression or something with a stone. That should be my control. So I was trying to stay as high as possible, but still I had to find some way, you know, to be able to run. And there were similar like contour features, so yeah, here and there I was hesitating. It wasn't that clear to me, but I patiently continued in exploring this area for the control. Obviously the map is old, so some new fences and these things were not present. But here we are at the control. The GPS is a little bit off. And let's continue. Here I would say that this was not a good setup, but it's a training, so whatever. But here I'm basically having number 12 in a way, control number 12 in a way to my control number 8, so as you guess, I was definitely passing around my control 12, but I thought that it's my control 8, and this was questionable. I think during a race this should not happen, and I complained about it, but you know, I wasn't like mad. Still, it's fine. Yeah, so this is control number 12, and this younger fella was, you know, telling me this is 12, and I was like, oh, yeah, right. Because now I would run down, you know, probably I would run to control 11. I was already a little bit tired, so I was glad that he helped me here. Now the control 8 was like, I wouldn't say easy, but it was like more distinguishable and even visible. You can see the depression or the re-entrant here, if it is called re-entrant, with some sort of marsh, a little bit of water there, so no problem at least, and now it was even clear that you know, no obstacle here. Control number 9, climb up to the top, and I think here I decided, as you can see, there is a clearing, but now it's not a clearing, it's this thicket. So I decided to climb up a little bit. This wasn't the proper route, let's say, with a lot of these vines from strawberries or the other blackberries. So yeah, it wasn't very fun to run through. I got lost here and there. Yeah. So not a not the best route choice, to be honest. Still, I had to pass this mess, and I wanted to pass it here because you know, I wanted to avoid some of that thicket, let's say. But it wasn't. Probably it was better to pass through that green thicket than this. And now again another thicket that just drove me upwards and upwards, which wasn't bad because in either case I had to go basically back to the top of the hill here, or top of the valley, because here, yeah, I wouldn't call it a hill. So let's skip to 9. as you can see, a bit of a struggle for me to get to control number 9, and this was a very steep slope. Even the course setter, I admire her for this, because climbing up in this, and it was very unstable, you know, like these rocks are small, they are sliding beneath your not hands, beneath your feet, so not a pleasant and easy terrain. The pit here, yeah, I had to take bearing, and I was running towards it, but here I'm trying to study the ground and the contours, if I will see, or even if I will see it, but yeah, it was small pit, so it wasn't possible to see it. I'm studying every small depression here, and not a good display of orienteering here, I would say. Doesn't seem very confident, but I found it, and now now the next control. So obviously the small path that is on the map is no longer there, at least I didn't notice it, and thus I decided to go downhill to this bigger path, and I thought that I will take the path that will almost lead me to the control, and I think it would be okay if the path was properly drawn on the map. Obviously the map changed throughout the years. I don't know, this is maybe like a 10-year-old map, and now once I passed this first now I'm going, this is still fine, but I'm now going through the second thicket, and as you can see, the path here goes basically straight. It should have gone down, you know, to the right, and here you can see that it goes straight, which is misleading. Then there is this fence, and the path goes up here, so I was very confused. I was expecting the control like to the left of me, here somewhere on above me, because I was expecting that I'm at that little crossroad. So now I got really, not really, but I got a little bit lost. I wasn't sure where am I. I almost got to control number 12, but then once I realized that on top of me it's control 12 where I am going next, I decided to go back, and you know, started going there and back around the road, starting to understand that the road changed, and then started to read the map more, and I was like, okay, so it must be this small re-entrant, and because the pit was not very visible at first, I spent quite a bit of time here. So here I'm going back around and I was looking here in that small valley, but I wasn't very diligent, let's say, and here I didn't get too far, and I wasn't able to see because actually that pit is a little bit further down. So here, yeah, it was. I was missing this fence or something. So now I started running again along the road. You will see, but I will eventually find it here in this valley. I guess around this point I finally understood that the road is not correct in the map, and that I need to go back and look again into that small re-entrant. So yeah, here I am. Probably saw the flag already, but you know, with proper control it would be a little bit easier. And it was really like deep here, this re-entrant, so it wasn't very much visible. And the map, obviously, because it's old, it wasn't telling much. So here I lost a lot of time. I would guess at least 5 minutes, maybe 6. Now to control 12 I knew where I'm going, so let's skip there. And yeah, from control 12 to control 13 it was mostly along the contours and a little bit behind that let's say bigger path, maybe a road, vehicle road we can say, an edge of a thicket. So yeah, it wasn't difficult here. I think mostly the biggest difficulty was running in this terrain, but even that wasn't really bad. it wasn't, it was okay. So we can skip to control 13. Now this next control, I think that was a more interesting one, because here again, for me it was like, I wouldn't say difficult, but I made a mistake because of the map again here. I didn't account for, you know, the age of the vegetation. It changed. I could have used that, and I was really considering it. I was considering going more straight and you know, pass through the forest and go through, but then I decided to go around all these non-runnable forests or semi-runnable forests, and that complicated things. Yeah, here I think I didn't want to run through this forest because I thought there are branches lying on the ground and it will be difficult to run, but it was actually a good route choice. The other runners told me that here I'm considering it, you see. The other runners told me that it wasn't actually that bad, and they probably had a little less trouble navigating, because here behind these non-runnable forests that I'm passing, and you can see here that here was supposed to be a clearing, but it's no longer there, and that's where my mistake comes from, obviously, because now I'm thinking that I'm running next to the non-runnable forest, but it's not it. I'm basically in the clearing, next to the clearing, and now here was a fence, but it's no longer there, not even visible. So again, it's not aligned. I was thinking here that I'm next to that non-runnable forest, you know, and I'm not. So that was wrong thinking here. I didn't account it for the vegetation growth, and here I think even it was difficult for me to read the contours, obviously. And so here I was thinking maybe I should get inside this non-runnable forest and I should find that like a depression, and I was expecting it here. It looked like a depression, but obviously I wasn't close enough. I was still in the clearing, which is now a thicket. So I didn't go any further and started going back, and got a little bit lost here. The solution here was that I once I got from this mess, I ended up on that path. I started studying that contours and that path, and I rearranged myself better, and then finally found the control. I think somewhat around this point I finally understood that there was this road and it's overgrown here. That's the one. And then I understood that I need to go deeper probably into that forest. Yeah, here I'm looking at the road, and I'm thinking, okay, then I need to go back where I was previously, and yeah, eventually I found the control. I was looking for some depression here, but it was a little bit further. Yeah, here finally I found a way, and I saw, okay, this is the depression, so the control must be here. And it really was there, but yeah, the vegetation was the culprit here for me. From the other side you can see the forest is actually pretty runnable. It's not a non-runnable forest anymore. So yeah, here I did a miscalculated. Yeah, the next control, I was a little bit accustomed to the map here, so it wasn't difficult. I knew that I have to get out of this non-runnable area, and once I'm out, I will just cross that like plain, a little bit of and that road, yeah. So once I was out around here, I probably took a bearing a little bit, at least, I guess. And yeah, here I'm looking in that small reentrant or small valley, and behind it is my control, which is a marsh or something like that, small marsh. So yeah, this was easy. Here, what am I looking at? It's just below me. Just go straight down. Yeah, so this was easy, and the next control I basically took bearing and ran straight, so we can speed it up a little bit. I crossed the hill, or the small hill, from the right side, and then I was going into that little valley, or yeah, and I cross it to that knoll. this point I already saw the control. I just had to go down. Here you will see advanced sliding technique. It was fun. And yeah, to the next control I sort of took bearing, but I was also using this small reentrant as a lead. So if you want, we can skip there. Yeah, and here we are, end of a rally. Control 18. Let me see. I don't remember control 18. Looks okay, so it looks like some. How did I get there? So I went. Okay, I know now. So I went up to this road, and then I decided to go uphill through that other path, and then cut it through. I think it wasn't a good idea. I could have gone straight here around that non-runnable forest and through the narrow ride up to the control. That would have been easier. Here I even kind of missed the right point to go to the control. I went too far to the top, I think. And then I had to cut through that like a overgrown clearing, or what was it? So I ended up above the control 18, and I had to go down back to it, so it wasn't perfect. I wasn't very happy about this one. Yeah, now I realize the control is below me. My original plan was to, you know, go like below that small hill top or whatever it is there, and as I said, I ended up too much. I gained too much elevation here, so yeah, I wasn't very pleased with myself. Control 19, I think. I don't know if I picked the best way, but basically I decided to go down around all these non-runnable forests to that big vehicle road, and then from there to go to this small pit. I think that way it was like I wouldn't say easier, but it was runnable at least, let's say. Let's skip there. Yeah, control number 20 was just climbing up to the top, almost straight. It wasn't very difficult, I think. I remember I was kind of able to read the contours properly, so I was able to, read that little valley, little depression where the like a spring or marsh is. So the only difficulty here was the steep climb. Well, actually it wasn't that steep, but my physicality no longer allows me to run uphill like that. So yeah, I would say this was easy. Now to control 21, I basically decided to go up, climb up to this small path that leads to control 21, and it did lead to control 21, so yeah, I think that was an obvious route choice and a good one. So we can skip to control 21. And now back to the top. I would say another cliff, very hard to reach here. I wasn't very happy about this one. Again, the ground here, it's not very firm. It's stony. So it was difficult to climb up, but I mean, from the orienteering point of view, this was fine. You know, like I took bearing, looked up, the control was there, almost visible, so no problems. So here we are, rock climbers. Now back down into that depression, basically following the contours. Yeah, I have no other thing to add here. It was again a little difficult for me to climb down, but other than that, no issues. Seems that I was pretty tired at this point, at least to me. Like, you know, the distance between these two controls is not that big, and it took me like 2.5 minutes or almost 3 minutes. So yeah, and obviously we started on the top of the hill, so we had to go back up and on the way pick up some control. So as much as I could, I was running along this small path, but then I had to climb up, and yeah, I was tired at this point, so I wasn't very happy about this climb. But here the control, again, all these cliffs are very small, so it wasn't very like distinguishable cliff. It could be anything, but I had to climb it anyway, so I slowly step by step was closing to the control. But it's yeah, it's hard to watch, so I will skip to the control 24. Yeah, so again it seems that my GPS is a little bit off, or really the cliff at the map is not properly placed. I don't know, because it seems that it's like 20 meters difference there. Once I was here, I was happy, took a bearing, got to control 25 little bit. I wasn't very precise here with the bearing. I ended up a little bit to the right from the control, but not too far, so I was able to see that a little. I would say it was a little bit depression, but let's call it a pit, and then straight to the finish. Well, physically the training was very hard for me, and from the orienteering point it was difficult because the map was old. So from that point it was like from the both points it was difficult training, but yeah, I enjoy such trainings. It's not like you get mad here and there, but then once you find all the controls and you are in the finished you are in the finish, then you're happy and fine. So that was my case. Even I admit that at some points I was a little bit mad. Come on. Yeah, here it is. And yeah, that's it. So hope you enjoyed this recording. See you next time. And here in Czech Republic the season already started. I have bunch of races in the backlog, and I hope to bring them soon to you. So bye.